Now at 9, we learn more about the progress of Miami's B.F. Goodrich cleanup and what comes next.
Residents across Jasper County are seeing their property values go up. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, I sit down with the Jasper County assessor to learn why.
Elon Musk regrets some of the things he said during his falling out with President Trump last week. I'm Rebecca Castor at the White House with where they stand now, just ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
After decades of waiting, hope for a cleaner community takes center stage in Miami, Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Residents of Ottawa County gathered at the Miami Public Library this evening to discuss the ongoing remediation and chemical cleanup permit needed for the former B.F. Goodrich plant. The plant permanently closed in 1986. It sat vacant for nearly 3 decades before its demolition in 2014. B.F. Goodrich was once Ottawa County's largest employer with 1,900 workers. The company made large tires for farm equipment and off-road vehicles. The cleanup started in March of 2023 and has faced challenges due to decades of pollution at the site.
The main chemical they're looking at is benzene. Benzene is a carcinogen. We've known that for decades. Cleaning up this benzene has only happened in the last 2 years. That's a long time to wait.
The Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality hosted tonight's meeting, offering community members a chance to ask questions and voice concerns. The new permit will allow Genosyntec consultants to operate a remediation system to clean harmful organic compounds and hazardous air pollutants from both the soil and groundwater at the former B.F. Goodrich facility. It sets emission limits, requires use of activated carbon filters for pollution control, mandates regular monitoring and reporting, and allows operation year-round except during winter freeze conditions. Well, a woman who authorities say went on a January shooting spree across 2 states, killing 2 people, is sentenced. Taylor Santiago pleaded guilty to charges in Missouri related to the murder of her child's father. Those charges include first-degree murder, which she will receive life without the possibility of parole. She also pled guilty to first-degree robbery, unlawful use of a weapon, and child endangerment. Investigators say Santiago lured her child's father to her home in Aurora, Missouri, and there she ambushed, shot, and killed him. They say Santiago then took his vehicle, leaving her child with the deceased father at her home, and traveled to Carroll County, Arkansas, where she shot the father of one of her other children and his girlfriend. The girlfriend died. Investigators say Santiago then returned to Missouri, where she turned herself in to Aurora police and confessed to the crimes. Santiago still faces charges in Arkansas for capital murder and attempted capital murder. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, definitely turned out to be a decent Wednesday for us today. A lot of clouds have been increasing across the region over the past several hours, and you can see some showers, even some thunderstorms down to our south, kind of lifting in our direction. We do have some spotty little thunderstorms, and these will pick up as we continue through the evening into the overnight hours. This is all due to an upper level wave that is lifting or very slowly moving off toward the north and to the east. But what this will do for us over the next few days is give us scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Nothing looks too strong or severe, but you can see our greater chances pushing through as we go into Thursday. So through the evening into the overnight hours, here's about midnight, scattered showers and thunderstorms a little bit more widespread, picking up and pushing through the region. This is what we're going to see on Thursday and Friday as well. We're going to be talking about that here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Well, residents across Missouri are receiving their property value assessments. In Jasper County, homeowners are seeing a jump in value. KOAM's Samantha Walker sat down with the county assessor to learn why.
In Jasper County, more than 44,000 impact notices have been sent out about a change in property valuations. The State Tax Commission is requiring bigger assessment increases this year, averaging between 13 to 15% in Jasper County.
However, with depreciation, when you apply that, it's actually not a 15% increase. It's an average of maybe around 10 to 11%. Some may be a little higher if we made a different kind of change, like a condition change.
The increase is because the county, like dozens of others, is out of compliance with the state. That means the county's appraised value isn't as close to actual market value as required. The county assessor says the changes are connected to the COVID-19 pandemic, which impacted property values across the state.
There should have been a greater increase in 2021 and in 2023, and that did not happen because we rode out the market to see what would happen with COVID, and that put us behind.
She says this year's increase won't get the county back to the desired level yet, but the state has accepted it. The assessor adds she understands people may be surprised when they see their new home assessment.
We encourage people to go out and, call a realtor, get on a realtor website just to see what houses are selling for, and then ask themselves, is that, could I sell my home for what that house is worth, or for what those people are trying to sell their home for?
So if you're a Jasper County resident and your property values go up by 15%, does that mean that your property taxes go up by 15% as well? According to the Jasper County tax collector, that's not the case.
In my case, my property went up 11.6%. But I know, since I'm in the business, my taxes should not go up 11.6%. They should not.
He says that's because of a Missouri state amendment dating back to 1980.
If you follow the Hancock Amendment, it says that a taxing entity cannot get a windfall in revenue, increase in revenue, from reassessment. So it limits the amount of increase you can have. If everybody plays ball correctly and follows the Hancock Amendment, then there'll be a levy rollback to keep people from having a windfall and revenue increase.
He adds seniors who applied for the senior property tax freeze should be getting a notice of whether they were approved next month. If approved, they won't need to worry about what their rates would be after the 2025 reassessment.
2024 is the base tax year, and that's the frozen amount.
Reporting in Jasper County, Samantha Walker, KOEM News.
If you believe your valuation is incorrect, you have until June 23rd to reach out to the county assessor's office for an informal hearing. After speaking with the assessor, a formal hearing may also be held by the state, and that would need to be scheduled through the county clerk's office no later than July 11th. Former Missouri State Representative Cody Smith is honored with the Richard A. Webster Medallion today at Missouri Southern State University. Smith receives this honor because of his efforts to improve the MSSU campus while working in the Missouri House of Representatives.
Every day I drive by and look at the new health sciences building that's going up, and certainly had a lot of involvement with the planning and the funding for that project. And so it's really nice to see it come to life over the course of those several days, that it's really coming in and taking shape and coming into form now.
Smith served at Missouri District 163 during his time as a state representative. Well, coming up, anti-ICE protest.
The Trump administration is defending its immigration raids as anti-ICE protests draw thousands of people across the country. I'm Connor Hansen in New York with the details coming up.
But up first, considering signing your kids up for a summer sport, psychology experts share how these activities help children learn moral skills they can use later in life. Playing sports can provide physical activity which can increase our mental and physical health. But for young kids learning important life lessons, involvement in sports may even boost their morals. Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look.
With students looking forward to the end of the school year, many are probably tired of learning.
Hit it! Come on, get up quick!
But for parents looking for ways to keep their kids busy all summer long, psychology experts say enrolling them in youth sports could help them learn new life skills without them even realizing it.
As a parent, we need to think about sport as developmental context.
While sports can provide positive physical impacts for kids, research from Dr. Andrea Edicall of Texas A&M University focuses on what moral attributes athletics can instill.
So how do they learn good from bad, right from wrong.
According to Dr. Edekal, sports should contain an element of competition. But while winning is great, it's important young kids learn how to deal with loss.
Sometimes we think our approach with youth and sport has to be this fluffy, everyone gets trophies and rewards. We want our youth to be presented opportunities where they fail and have to try again.
Dr. Edekal says it's through overcoming adversity that young kids can develop morals like empathy and compassion.
What kids are actually learning as being a part of this game is how you make decisions, how you reason around the types of behaviors you want to display, or how you rationalize how you act and treat others in sport.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
And nearly 2 million emergency room visits every year related to tooth disorders, and that's according to the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics. Adults aged 25 to 34 account for the most visits. It's estimated 1 in 5 adults ages 20 to 69 has had at least one untreated cavity. The report also shows fewer opioids were prescribed to patients over the past decade. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, Grand Lake boat races are on this weekend despite recent rain and debris.
It definitely turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us today. Temperatures still warm as most of us went into the mid 80s for afternoon highs, but a lot of upper level clouds kind of streaming in. You can see kind of fanning in over the past several hours. And we're going to see a lot of clouds tonight, tomorrow, into Friday, and then we'll start to see some sunshine returning as we head into the weekend. But we have an upper level low kind of lifting off toward the north, and we do have some spotty little thunderstorms, and we are going to see those out there as we go through the evening into the overnight hours for us tonight. But as this upper level low kind of lifts toward us, we're going to see the clouds, and we're going to see those scattered showers and a few thunder showers across the region. It shouldn't be anything too strong or severe, which is definitely good news. All right, so let's go into Thursday night. You can see this little circle here. That's our upper level wave, kind of lifts toward the north and to the east as we head into the weekend. But there's an area of high pressure back to the southwest, so we get these waves that kind of rotate around it, and with it, we'll have some at least slight chances for some hit and miss storms on Saturday and Sunday. Another wave kind of brushes by on Monday into Tuesday, and then we'll have another system that kicks out by the middle of next week. So it is going to keep those rain chances in the forecast. Much higher chances heading into Thursday. You can see scattered showers across the region into Thursday night and even into Friday. I think our chances will start to trail off a little bit once we get into Friday afternoon, as that kind of projects us into the weekend. All right, let me walk you through time. So through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours, clouds, scattered showers, and thunderstorms. Again, nothing too strong, but there is going to be some thunder and lightning out there. As we go through Thursday morning, mostly cloudy skies, hit and miss scattered showers, probably pumping up a little bit once we get into the afternoon with a little instability. So some hit and miss scattered thunderstorms. So here's Thursday afternoon. Let's go through Thursday evening. Still mostly cloudy, scattered showers across the region. We continue this trend as we go into Thursday night. So here's about midnight. So lifting back in once again as we go into Friday morning. And then finally by Friday afternoon, some of this rain will start to rotate off toward the east. How much rain can we get? Of course, the ground is super saturated. I think a lot of areas, quarter of an inch, half an inch, but we are going to see some areas that get some isolated higher amounts. So we shouldn't have to deal with flash flooding, but of course, it's going to be wet outside. 67 in the morning, 73 by noon. A little bit cooler on Thursday due to those showers and thunderstorms pushing through. And for the rest of the evening into the morning hours, temperatures kind of drop back into the mid 60s for overnight lows. All right, by Friday, still scattered showers and thunderstorms, high temp of 80. I think most of the weekend's going to be dry. We are going to have a random little thunderstorm, but most of us are going to be dry. But look at the heat starting to kick in by next week. We warm into lower 90s by next Tuesday.
Thank you, Doug. And after the recent rains, there's quite a bit of debris both on and in Grand Lake. But as of right now, the Thunder on the River boat races are still scheduled for this coming Saturday and Sunday. It's part of the Toes in the Grand Summer Festival, and now in its 7th year at Wolf Creek on Grand Lake, crews are working to get everything set up and going.
We started Toes in the Grand to give people something fun to do, to get people out. We have marketed it to actually the whole nation at some points, and we get people from all over it.
Toes in the Grand starts tomorrow with the boat race practice. Coming up, Virginia wants to limit social media use for kids under 16 to just 1 hour per day per app. The new law aims to address rising mental health concerns, but questions remain about enforcement and parental control.
Royals play here. Select.
The Commonwealth of Virginia is trying to limit the social media exposure of young people. Its Republican governor signed a bill limiting kids under 16 to just 1 hour of social media use per day. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel explains.
Starting in January, social media platforms will be required to verify ages and limit screen time for those under 16 in Virginia to 1 hour per day per app. So far, reviews are mixed.
Probably a bit of overreach. I mean, leave that up to the parents, right?
I think they should definitely be able to govern some of it.
The changes are part of a law Governor Glenn Youngkin signed amending Virginia's Consumer Data Protection Act. Youngkin also signed a separate law banning phone use during school hours.
The cell phone use went up, mental health challenges went up, disruption and disorderly conduct went up, academic performance went down.
A recent study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found more social media use in early adolescence predicted higher depression symptoms a year later. So states like Florida and Virginia are stepping in, although legal challenges are likely. One expert says there is no motivation for the platforms to restrict young consumers.
They want to have as many minutes with your children as possible. They simply have no incentive right now, apart from laws like this, to change that formula.
Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, tells Fox News parental controls are already available with its teen accounts if parents wish to limit screen time. Quote, parents can also set daily time limits and regular breaks where their teens can't use our apps, even restricting them to as little as 15 minutes of usage per day. Other social media sites like X do not have parental controls, while TikTok says it does through a family pairing feature. There are questions about enforcement of the Virginia law since teens can be masters at getting around digital limits. Parents can also override the 1 hour limit or extend it. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Well, TikTok has just over a week left to find a buyer to remain online in the U.S. Congress last year passed a bill forcing TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to sell the platform due to national security concerns. President Trump already extended the deadline twice and is reportedly considering a third reprieve. Up next, Ozark Tech's new aviation center is ready for takeoff, training future aircraft technicians. A new program at Ozarks Tech is now ready for takeoff. This afternoon, college and community leaders cut the ribbon on the Roy Blunt Aviation Training Center. It's near the old Springfield Airport Terminal. The facility will house Ozark Tech's airframe and power plant program. Students will learn how to maintain and repair aircraft to FAA standards, clearing the way for a career in the aviation industry. College administrators say the new program will be a big lift to the region.
This is a huge deal for the college, but it's even a bigger deal for our community as we have become a transportation hub through aviation training, of course the airport, and now airframe and power plant and maintenance. It's really big for the community because it's going to mean ultimately more jobs in the community, well-paying jobs, and it will also help the airport grow.
Ozarks Tech leaders say this is the only program of its kind within 100 miles of Springfield. It'll feature hands-on training opportunities and an 11,000 square foot hangar. The project was paid for with funds from federal, state, county, and city sources. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Elon Musk regrets his Twitter feud with Trump, but can their friendship survive? And protests against immigration raids intensify nationwide with arrests, military deployments, and more demonstrations expected this weekend.
Make 2020.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Elon Musk says he has some regrets about his explosive back and forth with President Trump on social media last week. But can their friendship be saved? Fox's Rebecca Castor reports.
Elon Musk is apologizing after his intense and very public falling out with the president. Writing on X, "I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far." And Trump appears open to reconciling.
Do you think, could you forgive him?
I guess I could, but we have to straighten out the country.
Yeah.
And my sole function now is getting this country back to a level higher than it's ever been.
According to the New York Times, Musk called the president Monday night before publicly expressing his regret. He went off on Trump in a series of posts last Thursday, at one point calling for his impeachment and suggesting he's implicated in the Epstein files, posts that have since been deleted. It all stems from Musk's disappointment in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill.
Look, I have no hard feelings. I was really surprised that happened. He went after a bill that's phenomenal.
The bill encompasses many of Trump's campaign promises, including increased border security and no tax on tips. But it's also estimated to add trillions to the national deficit.
Republicans pride themselves as the supposed party of fiscal responsibility. But this bill they have belongs on the Mount Rushmore of fiscally irresponsible bills.
If there's any sign of letting bygones be bygones, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the administration is not currently reviewing any of Elon Musk's government contracts. At the White House, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, tensions in the Middle East continue to rise with the future of U.S. and Iran nuclear talks hanging in the balance. President Trump says a deal may be slipping away as Iran steps up aggressive negotiating tactics. New threats from Iran's defense minister warn of potential attacks on U.S. military bases if diplomacy fails. Now, Israel is reportedly considering preemptive strikes, while some U.S. lawmakers urge President Trump to support military action. The next round of talks is set for Sunday in Oman as both sides head into a critical week. Well, the Trump administration is defending its decision to send troops into Los Angeles, but California officials say it's only making the situation worse. And now more cities are pushing back. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more.
As protests stretch from coast to coast, thousands of people are taking to the streets here in New York. Anti-ICE protesters are holding their 6th straight day of demonstrations in Los Angeles. Thousands taking to the streets in Los Angeles for another day of protests against immigration raids. South of the city, hundreds of Marines are still undergoing crowd control training, despite arguments by local officials that their deployment will only increase tensions.
It is a drastic and chaotic escalation and completely unnecessary.
Today on Capitol Hill, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth defended the decision.
It's about maintaining law and order on behalf of law enforcement agents who deserve to do their job without being attacked by mobs of people.
The protests now spreading beyond Los Angeles. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is deploying National Guard troops across the state ahead of more demonstrations. Here in New York, dozens of anti-ICE protesters were arrested Tuesday night. Those city officials say they are prepared to handle the crowds.
We have plans in place so that if it escalates, we can bring cops in from all over the city.
Despite the tension, the White House says the raids will continue.
President Trump promised to carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history, and left-wing riots will not deter him in that effort.
And millions are expected to take to the streets across the country this coming Saturday for a day of protests against the Trump administration. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, the Lamar Plaza Theater has been lighting up the silver screen for more than 90 years. We show you how nostalgia is bringing families and first-timers together for lasting memories.
Dizziness?
It definitely turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us today. Temperatures still warm as most of us went into the mid 80s for afternoon highs, but a lot of upper level clouds kind of streaming in. You can see kind of fanning in over the past several hours. And we're going to see a lot of clouds tonight, tomorrow, into Friday, and then we'll start to see some sunshine returning as we head into the weekend. But we have an upper level low kind of lifting off toward the north, and we do have some spotty little thunderstorms, and we are going to see those out there as we go through the evening into the overnight hours for us tonight. But as this upper level low kind of lifts toward us, we're going to see the clouds, and we're going to see those scattered showers and a few thunder showers across the region. It shouldn't be anything too strong or severe, which is definitely good news. All right, so let's go into Thursday night. You can see this little circle here. That's our upper level wave, kind of lifts toward the north and to the east as we head into the weekend. But there's an area of high pressure back to the southwest, so we get these waves that kind of rotate around it, and with it, we'll have some at least slight chances for some hit and miss storms on Saturday and Sunday. Another wave kind of brushes by on Monday into Tuesday, and then we'll have another system that kicks out by the middle of next week. So it is going to keep those rain chances in the forecast. Much higher chances heading into Thursday. You can see scattered showers across the region into Thursday night and even into Friday. I think our chances will start to trail off a little bit once we get into Friday afternoon, as that kind of projects us into the weekend. All right, let me walk you through time. So through the rest of the evening into the overnight hours, clouds, scattered showers, and thunderstorms. Again, nothing too strong, but there is going to be some thunder and lightning out there. As we go through Thursday morning, mostly cloudy skies, hit and miss, scattered showers, probably pumping up a little bit once we get into the afternoon with a little instability. So some hit and miss, scattered thunderstorms. So here's Thursday afternoon. Let's go through Thursday evening, still mostly cloudy. Scattered showers across the region. We continue this trend as we go into Thursday night. So here's about midnight, so lifting back in once again as we go into Friday morning, and then finally by Friday afternoon, some of this rain will start to rotate off toward the east. How much rain can we get? Of course, the ground is super saturated. I think a lot of areas, quarter of an inch, half an inch, but we are going to see some areas that get some isolated higher amounts. So we shouldn't have to deal with flash flooding, but of course, it's going to be wet outside. 67 in the morning, 73 by noon. A little bit cooler on Thursday due to those showers and thunderstorms pushing through. And for the rest of the evening into the morning hours, temperatures kind of drop back into the mid 60s for overnight lows. All right, by Friday, still scattered showers and thunderstorms, high temp of 80. I think most of the weekend's going to be dry. We are going to have a random little thunderstorm, but most of us are going to be dry. But look at the heat starting to kick in by next week. We warm into lower 90s by next Tuesday.
Not sure if I'm ready for the 90s yet. Well, Special Olympics Kansas hosted a luau cookout, bringing 6 of the Pittsburgh teams together to mark the end of the sports season. Today's luau took place at New Hope Services in an effort to showcase their facilities. The athletes joined together for an outdoor lunch and participated in games such as cornhole and kickball. It was an opportunity for the athletes to strengthen bonds across agencies.
A lot of our athletes know each other from the different agencies, but they don't have a lot of opportunity to further their friendships and kind of get to know each other at more of a consistent level. So this is really important to have that social, inclusive setting where they can all just hang out and it's not centered around competition.
The Southeast region hosted 23 events last year. They're set to roll into bowling in around 2 months. Well, still ahead, the Oklahoma City Thunder battled the Indiana Pacers in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Plus, 18 of our local high school softball players receive all-state honors. John Dales has those stories and more up next in sports.
High school softball season has come and gone in the 4 states, and this week a ton of our local players receive all-state honors from the Kansas Softball Coaches Association. Starting in Class 2-1A, Uniontown middle infielder Reese Gorman receives honorable mention all-state honors after a stellar senior year for the Eagles. Class 3A, the back-to-back state champions from Frontenac are very well represented. 5 Raiders make the first team all-state. Those are Avery Johnson, Maddie Call, Grayson McLaren, Alana Sullivan, and Maddie Lejotis. Zoe Hesse from Iola makes the first team as well. She just completed her sophomore year. Then 4 Columbus Titans receive All-State honors. All of them are seniors in the class of 2025. On the second team, Haley Ediger and Katie Mooney. Then Tori Tedlock and Bradley Johnson both get honorable mentions. Moving up to Class 4A, Allie Brown just finished her senior year at Fort Scott. She'll play at Pitt State next year, and she's on the first team All-State along with her teammate Allison Wheeler. Another Fort Scott Tiger, Abby Gorman, gets an honorable mention as an outfielder, and so does Avery Dean at pitcher, who just graduated from Chanute last month. Closing things out with Class 5A, Pittsburgh had a very special season, finished 4th in the state tournament. And Brett Pasteur is on the first team All-State as an infielder. Rex Slaughter on the second team as a pitcher. Both of them will return to the Purple Dragons for their senior year next season. 2025 grad Megan Johnston is on the second team All-State as an infielder. And both of our local summer collegiate baseball teams are on the road this evening. Joplin Outlaws are coming off a 6-0 shutout victory last night. Tonight, the Outlaws are once again up big. They lead 18-8 in the 7th inning. 7 different batters have multiple runs batted in for Joplin. Merkel Turner is 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored. Meanwhile, the Nevada Griffins are in Clarinda, Iowa, taking on the A's. They hold an 8-4 lead in the 8th inning as we come on the air. Those two will see each other again tomorrow night in Nevada. And in tonight's MLB Diamond Deep Dive, both the Cardinals and Royals are playing at home. Redbirds are hoping to avoid getting swept by the Blue Jays. We pick it up bottom of the 2nd inning. Cards in front 1-0. And their catcher, Joel Pozo, sends one into the seats beyond the left field wall for a solo home run. That makes it 2-0 St. Louis. Next inning, Toronto responds. Bo Bichette sends a base hit up the middle into center, and a run will score from second. That puts the Blue Jays on the board. To the 4th inning, they've now taken a 3-2 lead, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. smokes one into left field. That'll score another run, and that's 4 unanswered out of the Jays. They don't stop there. Ernie Clement will tack on another with a solo home run in the 5th, and the Redbirds, they drop their 4th in a row. Final score 5-2. Royals have also been struggling a bit recently, and that continues into tonight. They're down 6-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. They actually hadn't scored any runs until the 9th. Salvi Perez got things started in the frame with a 2-run homer. And tonight is Game 3 of the NBA Finals. After the Pacers and Thunder split the first 2 games in Oklahoma City, the series shifts to Indianapolis. And this game has been very fun to watch. Last check of the score has the Thunder leading by 2, 93-91, early 4th quarter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams are both above the 20-point mark for OKC. A Thunder win tonight would shift home court advantage back to Oklahoma City. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
A small-town movie theater is making a huge impact. Lamar Plaza Theater has been a summer favorite since 1934, and that means it survived many economic issues that plagued the nation. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the theater says it's actually seen an increase in traffic this year.
I spoke to a local who says it's his first time coming to this movie theater, and I also spoke to someone who says it's nostalgic.
It's a nice family-oriented place to go.
Lily Nims was born and raised in Lamar. She says this was a place to be back in the day.
The square used to be popular, so we'd all go to the movies and then we'd cruise the square and stuff and just hang out.
And she's not the only one. A local principal says she brings her kids here all the time.
It's an opportunity for kids that don't normally get to go to the movies. We've got 4 kids with us today that have never been to a movie theater, and it's one of them's birthday.
And of course, we had to meet that birthday kid and ask them what their favorite part was.
The bad guys part.
Scott Kelly is the manager of the theater. He says he's been coming here since he was born. He says it's been an increase in foot traffic, but not much else has changed.
Still has the original hand-painted murals on the walls, and the texture and everything is pretty much the same as it's been.
Nim says this place continues to be a place where people engage.
It's just nostalgic. We've just been doing this our whole lives. Like I said, I think it's been here my whole life, and I'm 37.
And I had to ask Birthday Boy if he was having cake today.
No.
And residents say they hope this building lasts for the next 50 years. Reporting in Lamar, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Somebody get that kid some cake. Attendance at the theater is free, but you can donate. Area businesses help to fund the building. Up next, Joe McHale jokes about unicorns and returns to TV with the 1% Club and the new season of Animal Control. The 1% Club has premiered with host Joe McHale, who's also getting ready for another season of Animal Control. We spoke with him about both and how excited he is to reunite with his comedic cast. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Currently hosting Fox's game show, The 1% Club.
Hi!
His comedy Animal Control was also renewed for season 4. Are you putting in requests for the animals that you'll get to work with?
I asked for a unicorn this time.
Perfect. Okay.
A minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm excited to
They'll
try
deliver.
to get those on the show.
Okay.
No, I the more the animals, the merrier. I was like, the more, because almost all the animals we work with are rescues and they're on sanctuaries, and so I'm like, bring as many as we can.
Yeah.
While telling these stories about my really poor dating habits.
Pretty sick place, huh?
What was one of your highlights of season 3, this group, what you kind of got to do or maybe take the story a little bit further?
The storyline with Ken Jeong, he came back as Roman. He was so funny, and hopefully he'll be back for season 4 of Animal Control. We can only pay you 1/300th of your rate. And then Tom Lennon coming on and playing my brother, and John Procaccino playing my dad.
McHale is excited to reunite with the cast and bring more laughs to the lineup.
This is, I think, our best season, and the cast is great and all that. Like, everyone is killer, and they're so good. So, yeah, anyway, that's those. I can't wait for it to come back.
I can feel the sweat, and I can smell it a little.
For now, find Joel hosting the 1% Club Tuesdays on Fox. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a camel calf eating a tree branch with his mom at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.